Hi everybody, my name is Ashley Lipman and I chose to build a Jumbo Jenga set for my therapeutic craft project. I chose to build Jumbo Jenga because I wanted something that could be functional with my life, but I also wanted to challenge myself to get out of my comfort zone. I have been to plenty of locations where they do have Jumbo Jenga and I always tend to gravitate towards playing it. And whenever I do play it, I always say, how cool would it be to have a Jumbo Jenga set of my own? So, in my decision of choosing this craft, I also wanted to challenge myself. So, building a Jumbo Jenga definitely fulfilled that requirement because I do not have any carpentry experience. However, my boyfriend David, on the other hand, is another story. Him and his father and a few friends recently just built his father's house by hand. So, he is proficient with building objects, and plus, he is a structural engineer for the shipyard. So on that note, David taught me how to take the measurements and use the tools in a safe manner. When I purchased the lumber, I bought an extra piece so that I could practice making cuts, which I definitely recommend if you have no carpentry experience, because I definitely needed the practice. I also found when taking my measurements, I would sometimes mess up on my markings. So it is very important to always double check your measurement. Also, once I was taught how to use the tools and had some practice, it was not as difficult, but it definitely took longer than expected. I would definitely classify it as easy if the person does have any background of carpentry. After cutting the lumber several times, it did become a lot easier, especially through the repetition. As I mentioned before, a challenging step was cutting the wood with the correct measurements. The blocks are 10.5 inches, but depending on the alignment of the wood and saw, it could be too short or too long, which if it is too long, then you just cut off that excess amount. However, if it is too short, then you're out of luck. So you may have to, if you may have to buy another piece of wood. Also, another challenging step I encountered was having to take breaks while I was sanding the blocks. While holding the electric sander in my hand, it produces a vibration through the process, and it would cause my hand to tense up, so then I would just have to stretch my hand out. This final project also means more than just a school project. This allowed me to step out of my comfort zone by using this equipment to build a Jumbo Jenga. Now that I have built this Jumbo Jenga, my friends and family can play when they come over for social gatherings. I find it important to have activities that can include everyone. My Jenga set will have my first Jenga set will have its first debut this Saturday at a cookout, which I'm excited to show off. But also, the type of clients that this activity could benefit is those definitely who have a carpentry interest, like many men do and some women. Also, those that like to play games with friends and family. Those that need to work on fine and gross motor skills, critical thinking with processing skills, strength, balance, and so forth. The wood can throw the person off balance. Taking the measurements consists of fine motor skills. The pushing the saw consists of gross motor skills. Just the whole safety of building Jenga. Definitely some processing skills right there. This activity could be graded up by not using the C-clamp and using a handsaw. And using a C-clamp allows the wood to grasp on to the wood, So if you have a piece of wood and then another piece of wood, it allows the wood to clamp on. So it holds the wood in place. And if not, you have to use your hand to hold the wood and then push your saw across, which I needed a C-clamp. And then also using a handsaw. A handsaw allows you to push the saw across literally with your hand, which would take a lot of strength and endurance. This activity could be graded down by using a sand block, which consists of a block with a piece of sandpaper on the bottom. and just uses your hand, just pushes the sandpaper across the wood. And also a miter saw would be girding down, because a miter saw allows you to just pull the handle down on the saw, versus I used a circular saw with a 7-inch framing blade, and you have to push it across the wood. So on that note, here are my 54 pieces of Jenga blocks. Ooh. And so over here, well, first, actually, let me adjust this so you can actually see. Your first important step is to put your safety glasses on, because you do not want to get sawdust in your eyes. Then you come over here to your sawhorses. You can expand your sawhorses depending on the length of your wood. I used a 2x4x8, so when I first have the long piece of wood, the sawhorses will be separated in distance. But I've already cut my pieces of wood, so these are just a few leftover pieces right here. So on that note, like I said, with the 2 pieces of wood, let me move this one. The C-clamp is connected to these 2 pieces of wood to hold them in place. So I do not have to hold this and push the saw across. But you first then take the 10.5 measurement, and then you use your combination square, and you put it at your 10.5-inch marking, and you draw a precise line to give you that accurate reading. And with your C-clamp, after your 10.5-inch measurement, you also want to pull, it's say about 15 inches past. So your 15 inches will be past your sawhorse. So when you push the saw across, it will not hit your sawhorse, because then that will, it won't give you the clean cut of fully going down. So I'll bring this closer. So with this saw, you see there's a flat section right there, and you push that across the wood. You want to lay it flat and just push it across. You don't want to pull up, you don't want to push down. You just want to give a clean cut of pushing across the wood so that the blade goes fully through the wood. You want to align the blade up across your marking, and depending, you may need to put it a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, depending on the measurement you made, because you don't want it to be too short. And then after that, after you cut your 54 blocks of 10.5 inches, you then have your sander, and you sand, you just hold it in your palm, and you have your piece of wood. You can place it on a table, and you just sand it across, and that allows smooth measurements, not measurements, smooth, just a smooth block, so that nobody gets splinters in their hands or poked by the sharp edges, which just makes it a much more comfortable experience while playing Jumbo Jenga. And then another fun idea is to add different sayings on the blocks. Like this one, we did psych, pull another. So then the individual had to pull another block out. We did activities like playing leapfrog, or doing a handstand, or singing happy birthday, or just some type of fun little thing to just give the Jumbo Jenga an extra piece of flair. So that is my Jumbo Jenga right here, and I hope y'all enjoy learning about my therapeutic craft project. Have a great day.